This is the themed Chinese restaurant La Caca, Modern Toilet. It is located in the city of Taipei, and these are some of the dishes you can find here. Most of them are shaped like poop and come on a plate shaped like a toilet. Did you know there is an installation where you can feel how cold the Atlantic Ocean was when the Titanic sank? The water temperature was between 2 and 2 degrees Celsius. Most people can barely touch it for a few seconds without feeling pain. Speaking of the Titanic, did you know there is a water inflatable shaped like the door where Kate waited to be rescued? Maybe this one can fit 2 people. Do you know what this is? It's a dog, a Shar-Pei. This breed has a genetic predisposition that makes them produce and accumulate large amounts of hyaluronic acid. This is why they have heavy, fleshy, and thick skin. Paint Cam Eve is a robotic security camera that not only detects intruders, but also shoots them with paintballs or tear gas pellets. This is what 2.26 kilos of fat looks like, and this is what 2.26 kilos of muscle looks like. Did you know that on the iPhone you can stack emojis to create a composition? For now, it only works in iMessage. This is how they add laces to garments like shorts and exercise pants. During the 1912 Olympic Games, a marathon runner withdrew and returned to Japan without telling the judges or the Olympic Committee. He was considered a missing person in Sweden for 50 years. In 1966, he was invited to complete the marathon. His official time was 54 years, 8 months, 6 days, 5 hours, 32 minutes, and 20 seconds. This is how they add filling to donuts. Did you know that there is enough clothing on the planet to dress this and 5 more generations of humans? The fashion industry produces 100 billion garments every year. Most of them end up in the trash and the ocean. Many Catholics practice abstinence during Lent, but did you know that in Venezuela they eat capybara meat during this time? This is because at some point in the 16th century, a group of Venezuelan priests wrote a special petition to the Vatican. They had discovered an animal that lived in water, had webbed feet, and tasted like fish. They asked the Vatican to grant the animal fish status. The Catholic Church agreed. This mattress has slots where you can put your arms. It's the dream of side sleepers. Did you know that Tijuana is closer to Alaska than to Cancun? This animation shows us how dishwashers work. Water is stored in a tank at the bottom of the machine. A heating element warms it up to 60 degrees Celsius. The soap tablet is released. The machine pumps water onto the dishes to remove the dirt. Next, the dirty water is sent to the drain. And finally, the plates are rinsed with clean water. Can some people roll their tongues back into their nasal cavity? This practice is called Kachari Mudra. This is an ultra-realistic version of the Simpsons characters created with artificial intelligence. Here is Homer, Flanders, Lisa, Bart, and Milhouse. This is Electrocula, a portable television invented in 1962. The video was projected onto this glass monocle. It looks a lot like Google Glass and other futuristic inventions. From a very young age, children in China learn coordination exercises. Now you know why they are so good at the Olympics. This is the Valley of the Dinosaurs in Thailand. Here you will find scaled sculptures of a large number of dinosaurs. The tongues of zebras look like spoons. Joe Strasser holds the Guinness World Record for having the most barbecue skewers in his beard, 600 in total. These are the limited edition Oreo cookies of Pac-Man. This is the fun packaging they come in. They are 2 arcade machines featuring various versions of the famous video game. This is Buster, a puppy who suffers from vitiligo. This disease causes loss of color in the skin and hair. Look at how he went from black to practically white. Here you can see how his depigmentation progressed. In November 2021, he was practically black. August 2022, May 2023, October 2023, and April 2024. This is what a goalkeeper looks like trying to stop 100 shots outside the box. Snails move at a speed of 0.048 kilometers per hour. This is how it looks from their point of view. Cheetahs can accelerate up to 130 kilometers per hour. This is how it looks from their point of view. This is one of the best ads I've seen. It looks like the cars entering this tunnel are being sucked in by a vacuum cleaner. Heinel Hack creates very peculiar traps for insects. Every day, the ducklings at the Peabody Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee, come down from their rooftop residence to the hotel's fountain to take a dip. This is how mapping services take photos of routes where cars cannot access. A person carries a backpack with cameras. Something curious happened in South Korea, as a puppy wouldn't stop following one of these operators. You can see it in the photos throughout the journey. In this photo, you can see the solar eclipses that will occur in the next 40 years. Australia will have a lot of activity. Elias Herrera shows us what it's like to live with a cow at home. His name is Bruce, and he loves human food. Because Japanese laws require married couples to share a single surname, it is estimated that by the year 2531, all Japanese people will share the same surname, Sato. Since 2022, James Earl Jones, the actor who voices Darth Vader, has retired. Lucasfilms asked for permission to use previous recordings and artificial intelligence to continue using his voice in future installments of the saga. Look at how they transformed Walton Goggins for his role in the Fallout series. This is the final result. As you can see, he still has his nose. They remove it with special effects. Brin Concept built the fastest pencil sharpener in the world. It takes less than a second to sharpen a pencil. For what? I don't know. Still, don't try it. Did you know there is a pool table where you always win? It doesn't matter where you aim. If you shoot from here, the ball always ends up in. Have you ever seen a PC inside a tire? Well, the guys from Gaming House RD made it a reality. Tires seem to be in vogue. I also came across this aquarium. Watch how these emperor penguin chicks make their first leap into the water. Some do it from cliffs over 15 meters high. Did you know that carrots have 2 parts? The inner part is called xylem, and the outer part is phloem. If you do this, you can separate them. Did you know that there is MISIA, artificial intelligence? None of the nominees are real. They were all computer-generated. The first beauty contest to crown fake humans. No comment. Look at how this tree grew inside a wall. It is located in southern China, in Guangdong province. Spotters often save gymnasts from falls or injuries. Look how quickly they react. This is how phones vibrate. It looks like CGI or virtual reality, but in reality, it's bent wire. It was created by the metal processing company Yamaguchi Seisakusho to showcase the technical capabilities of its factory. Did you know that a neighborhood in Las Vegas named its streets after Pokémon? There are Squirtle Street, Snorlax, Charmander, and Charizard. Imagine living here and giving your address to someone. See you at Jigglypuff 683. Did you know that when it rains, some streets in Korea fill with color? This installation was made by Pantone. They painted the streets with hydrochromic paint, which changes from transparent to opaque with moisture. This is the sound that alpacas make when they see danger. It sounds like a dog toy. This is how the IP rating is given to phones. They conduct all kinds of tests to verify that they are waterproof. Level 1, a drip tray that simulates rain without real pressure. Level 2, low pressure spraying from all angles. Level 3, high pressure spraying. This is how long it takes a robot to solve a Rubik's Cube. Check out Lillian Baez's incredible makeup. It looks like a drawing. Here you can see how she achieves it. McDonald's Italy designed this table so people can eat practically anywhere. It's called the bag table. All you need is a low post or one of those random poles found on the streets. Have you heard of pool ball? It's a combination of billiards and soccer. It looks interesting. Thanks to the sun's reflection, we can see the real size of Pomeranians and other fluffy dogs. In 2015, Burger King sponsored the wedding of Joel Burger and Ashley King. This was because their last names formed the name of the company. It was a very original advertising campaign. These are the most realistic ice pops in existence. They are sold at Corner Cone Ice Cream Shop in Taiwan. This is the most expensive bag of potato chips in the world. It costs $1,050. Want to hear the worst part? It's not a snack. It's an exclusive designer handbag. Did you know that men with beards are better protected from the sun? It turns out that beards protect like a sunscreen with SPF 20. Andy Gang added lasers to one of his sweaters. Look how it appears in the dark. Just in case you were wondering, this type of laser is not very powerful and does not harm people's eyes. Have you ever seen a hippopotamus's eye up close? Eddie Hall is the current strongest man in the world. Watch him carry a person with one hand as if it's nothing. This is known as the roller coaster highway. For about 30 minutes, you will go up and down as if you were on an amusement park ride. It is located at the border of the state of Nevada in the United States. Not long ago, we saw Homer Simpson's sneakers from Adidas. They were so popular that Adidas released a new version, but with Marge Simpson. The furniture store IKEA is hiring people to manage its virtual store on Roblox. They pay €14.80 per hour. You can do it from your home computer. Unfortunately, only residents of the United Kingdom or Ireland can register. Did you know that the wood of the Yacardia tree is edible? Yacardia wood is very peculiar. It has a water content of 93% and contains no cellulose, making it completely edible. Watch how the Milanese man breaded it and ate it. It even made me crave it. Deshna Nahar holds the world record for sliding under 20 cars in a row in just 13.74 seconds. A few years ago in Japan, it became popular to make rice balls with armpits. It became trendy after it appeared in a famous manga. What do you think they taste like? Would you dare to try them? Did you know that you can stay in Carl, Yale, and Frederick Zen's house from Up? It's a collaboration between Pixar and Airbnb to celebrate the 15th anniversary of the film. It has 8,000 balloons tied to the ceiling, but these aren't what hold it up. It's a huge crane that hangs at 15 meters above the ground. This is a baked omelet. It is a popular dish in South Korea. Watch how they make it. This bottle of wine rescued from the wreckage of the Titanic was auctioned and sold for $1.4 million. What does it taste like? No idea, but its appearance leaves much to the imagination. Did you know that 2 nights of poor sleep can make you feel up to 4 years older? The blue milk from Star Wars is produced by female banthas. If you ever wanted to try it, now you can. They sell it at the supermarket. He is Finley, the puppy that can carry the most balls in his mouth. He holds the world record, 6 in total. He looks like a hamster. A group of scientists created a perfume that smells exactly like books. It's called Paper Passion and comes inside a hollow book. Kelsey Johnston builds tunnels and glass observatories for her fish. This way, they can travel from one aquarium to another. Watch how they ascend to the glass observatory. Being a soccer goalie in the past was much more difficult. Many of today's rules didn't exist. It was a more physical sport. Now they complain about anything. This is an observation honeybee hive. It was built inside a house. In Switzerland, they use this type of bridge when they have to make repairs on the pavement. This way, they do not disrupt traffic. This kitty predicted the deaths of over 100 elderly people. Oscar was adopted by a rehabilitation center for the elderly. Most of the time, he preferred to be alone, but every now and then he would snuggle with one of the patients. The strange thing is that after a few days, the patient would pass away. It is believed that this kitty could smell the chemicals released by dying cells in the human body, and for some reason, accompanied the elderly in their final hours. Throughout his life, Oscar accurately predicted more than 100 deaths. In South Korea, they hold sleep concerts. Instead of seats, there are beds. Various artists play relaxing music and sounds while people relax and some doze off. This device allows users to perform precise scans of their teeth using artificial intelligence technology from anywhere, at any time. Canned drinks harbor many bacteria. Look at all the ones present. These are the bacteria found after cleaning them with your clothes, with a napkin and hand sanitizer that is alcohol. Look very closely at how a kernel of corn explodes. The bark or skin of pineapples is extremely heat-resistant. Watch what happens when a ball of iron at 1,000 degrees Celsius is placed on top of it. Almost nothing. Firefighters should wear suits made of pineapple husk. Do you feel like making crepes but don't have a crepe maker? You can do it this way. This is what Chewbacca from Star Wars would look like without hair. This is Sony's new microsurgery robot. Watch how it stitches a kernel of corn. It will be used to perform delicate operations on small tissues like veins and nerves. In Japan, anyone can run for governor and legally has a space to make their proposals on television. When I say anyone, I mean it. These are the candidates for 2024. It looks more like the character selection of a video game. Many of these disguised candidates are actually satirical figures that criticize or mock politics. Here are some of the strangest from recent years. As you may have noticed, pandas have black patches around their eyes. These serve as a means of communication and identification among them. This is how they would look without them. It seems like they forgot to put on makeup. This is Skilus, an artist specialized in movement. Look at the stiffness of his body. He seems to be made of plastic. Did you know that you can tell the temperature of the environment by listening to a cricket sing? Count how many times the cricket sings in 8 seconds and add 5. For example, this cricket sings 17 times in 8 seconds. Adding 5 gives us 22 degrees Celsius, very close to what the thermometer reads. They say it's good luck to find a 4-leaf clover, but how about one with 63? Yoshiharu Watanabe used a technique called cross-pollination to create a clover with many leaves. It holds the world record. This is the farthest backflip basketball shot ever made. It was performed by Will Bullard. 1771. Did you know that surgical lights do not cast visible shadows? Each light source emits rays from different angles. When an object like a hand blocks one of the angles, the remaining rays continue to illuminate the area. This ensures that surgeons have a well-lit view of the operating area. Watch how sushi ramen uses chemiluminescence to perform a kamehameha. Remember those bracelets or tubes they give out at parties? They are filled with a liquid. That was what was launched with pressure. 18. Pour freezer. Did you know that it's less harmful to eat 2 hamburgers instead of 1 hamburger and fries? Hamburgers have vegetables and are a balanced food. Fries only have carbohydrates, oil, and salt. The fastest internet in the world so far has a speed of 402 terabits. It can download 50,000 gigabytes in 1 second. This is one of the best donation campaigns I have seen in a long time. This interactive poster has a credit card reader. Sliding it plays this animation where you cut a bit of bread and share it with a low-income family. According to a study, people who fall asleep after 1 in the morning are more likely to develop depression and anxiety. Did you know that disco soccer exists? You have to score goals while dancing to the rhythm of the music. If you stop moving, you are disqualified. In China, some public restrooms are equipped with timers that show how long a person has been inside. When they are empty, the sign turns green. Look at these fun card holders sold by Lamarck. You can choose from various superheroes and villains. Did you know that there are coffee-flavored or cilantro-flavored Doritos? They are limited editions and experiments that the brand occasionally does. On the outside, the quenelle bread loaves look ordinary, but look what happens when you cut them. Inside, they have fun character designs and colors. The pizza chain Villa has a very strange item on its menu: pizza edges. They are not leftovers. They are bread cooked with spices. This is Eddie Flexible, also known as the man without bones. Look at his incredible flexibility. This is how penalties were taken in the MLS League in the 90s. Quite unusual. Pelicans have one of the most elastic mouths in the animal kingdom. They can store up to 11 liters of water in their pouches. This is the smallest television in the world. The screen measures just 2.5 centimeters. It comes with a built-in USB memory so you can save your favorite videos and shows on it. Did you know that Dutch toilets have the hole located at the front? I wonder if they also sit like that. Park Banner built a Rubik's Cube of 34 by 34. It took him weeks to print and assemble it. It has a total of 6,939 3D printed pieces. Look how complicated it is to move them. Who will be the first to solve it? Cristiano Ronaldo and Zlatan Ibrahimovic are the only players who have scored goals in every minute of a soccer match. They have recorded goals from minute 1 to 90. Have you ever seen a caterpillar swim? I didn't know they could do that either. Did you know that in the past there were vending machines where you could watch movies? They were called mutoscopes. By inserting a coin, you could turn a crank that showed a series of consecutive images that gave the illusion of movement. They lasted about a minute. Nicolas Barrios and David Perrault made the tallest bicycle in the world. It's made of steel and is the same height as a 2-story house, almost 8 meters. Watch him ride it. Race car drivers have some of the best reflexes. Look at how Isaac Adhar avoids crashing into another driver. Kindergartens in China do this activity every school cycle. Parents must find their children just by looking into their eyes. Hannah Bates was a very tall woman. She measured 2.41 meters. She gave birth to the largest recorded baby in history, measuring 71.12 centimeters and weighing 9.98 kilograms. To give you an idea, the average baby measures 49.5 centimeters and weighs 3.2 kilograms. What a difference. Unfortunately, he only survived for a few hours. This is how the fuel tank gauge works in cars. The float rises and falls depending on the fuel level. Joe Harlow is one of the most innovative prosthetic designers in American cinema. This is his lamprey denture made for the television series *Malignant*. In Verden, a small town in northern Germany, you can find this interesting interactive sculpture. It's called the Vortex Pillar. Have you seen the collaboration between Airbnb and The Incredibles? You can visit Edna Mode's mansion. Look how she welcomes you, just like in the movie. Unlike other experiences, this is not a place to stay, but somewhere you can design your own custom superhero suit. This is one of the best advertising campaigns I have seen recently. Player Shohei Ohtani accidentally broke the LED panel of this screen by hitting a home run. The brand decided to use this for advertising, and to commemorate the moment, they released this special edition can. It was a complete success. Do you remember Google's dinosaur game? Well, they released a new version where you can modify it. You can choose your own character, obstacles, and background. Let's put a dolphin, a tire, and a campfire. Minmeo is a paper artist. Look at how he designs, prints, cuts, and glues this scale model of Majin Buu. His level of patience and detail is incredible. Did you know that there are these types of high-heeled shoes? They have a compartment in the sole where you can store the heel in case you get tired. This is Clarence Nash, the creator of Donald Duck's voice. He made these sounds by trapping air in his mouth. Anyone can change the color of the lights on this tower using an app. It's an art installation that appears from time to time in some cities in Europe. Bodybuilders' trapezius muscles are so large and bulky that it looks like a skinny person is wearing a muscular suit. Don't believe me? Look at this. Did you know there's an airline for dogs? The flight can accommodate 15 dogs and their owners. The aircraft features relaxation spaces, treats, anti-stress jackets, and noise-canceling earmuffs. Tommy Manis has the longest mullet in the world, measuring 1 meter and 72 centimeters. This suit is made from the mustache hair of hundreds of people. It was created for a campaign aimed at raising awareness about men's health. Would you wear it? There's a myth that spider silk is stronger than steel. To test it, James from the Action Lab caught a black widow spider and borrowed a thread from its web. Here's what he discovered. Each of the hooks represents the tensile strength of different materials. 1. Stronger than most plastics. 2. Stronger than fiberglass. 3. Stronger than reinforced concrete. 4. Stronger than carbon fiber. 5. Stronger than steel. 6. Stronger than ultra-high-strength steel. Many countries reward athletes with money for winning medals. This is what they pay athletes for a bronze, silver, and gold medal in each of these countries. Did you know that Nike's logo cost the brand only $35? They paid a design student $2 an hour, and she delivered this after 17.5 hours. Fortunately, the story had a happy ending. When the brand went public, they gifted her 500 shares, which are now worth around $1 million. Did you know that wombats use their butts to defend themselves against predators? When an animal attacks them, they flee to their burrow and use their behind to block the tunnel. Their backsides are reinforced with cartilage, and they hardly feel pain. If a predator gets past, they use their enormous rear to crush and suffocate it. In 2019, Burger King launched an initiative where drivers stuck in traffic in Mexico City could order a burger using the company's app. The order was delivered directly to their vehicle while they moved through traffic. It was a huge success. What you're seeing is not rain, it's cicada urine. Well, technically, it's not urine. These insects suck sugars from trees and excrete the excess in liquid form. When a tree is heavily populated by these insects, it looks like it's raining. Did you know that the perimeter of some prisons in Brazil is home to dozens of geese? These animals are extremely territorial, and if anyone approaches their territory, they honk like crazy. They make excellent alarm systems. Watch how bees expel intruders trying to sneak into their hive. They give them a sting. Did you know that if you rub garlic on your fingers, you can hold an egg yolk? Garlic is full of mercaptans, compounds with sulfur and hydrogen molecules that give garlic its strong odor and also make surfaces sticky. This is King, a Doberman puppy who lost 2 of his paws to cancer. Despite this, he can walk and even run. Look how happy he is. Jewelry's Kitchen U uses all kinds of snacks and food to create these fun and strange hairstyles. My favorite is the ramen hairstyle. This is Bug 2.0, the robot they use to film the dragon scenes in the TV series House of the Dragon. These 2 cars are exactly the same, but this one costs $1 million and this one costs $1.5 million. Do you know why? Because of the license plate. In Dubai, license plates with fewer digits are more expensive. 5 digits, about 500 dirhams. 4, about 15,000. 3, 300,000. 2 digits, over $1 million. And 1 digit, over $5 million. Can you believe a fashion brand sells t-shirts with painted sweat stains for $350? Have you ever wondered how they film videos that revolve around a moving car? Here's the answer. Jan Roos made history by becoming the first person to cross the Strait of Messina on a slackline. This strait separates Sicily from Italy. A tensioned line 3,746 meters long and just 2 centimeters wide was set up here. He completed the crossing in almost 3 hours. This is what happens when you put dry ice in water. And this is what happens when you put it in slime. If you ever get lost in the woods and don't have drinking water, you can remove sediment from the water you find using paper, cloth, and a container. Here's what you need to do. The water travels through the cloth, leaving the solids behind. It's a slow process, but it works. Still, the water must be safe. The longest overdue book returned to a library came back 288 years later. In 1667, the Sydney College Library lent a book to Colonel Robert Walpole. The book was never returned and was found in 1955 by Professor John Plum, who returned it to its original library in 1955. 288 years after being borrowed. Better late than never. Kintsugi is the traditional Japanese practice of repairing pottery with resin mixed with gold. Inspired by this, Oreo released this tube with its creamy cookie filling so you can reassemble the cookies that break. Or if you're really indulgent, just eat it as is. This is what a tattoo looks like on the head once hair has grown back. It's quite epic. This is the new routine from Urban Theory. It's mesmerizing. Did you know that in 2023, South Korea sold more dog strollers than baby strollers? Watch as the members of the YouTube channel Dude Perfect throw giant darts from a cargo plane and try to hit this enormous board on the ground. After many failed attempts, they finally succeed. Did you know that honeypot ants use members of their own species as containers? Literally. Their sisters feed them until they're full, like balloons. When food is scarce, the colony feeds on the nectar stored in their stomachs. Do you have a dog or cat that sheds a lot? Collect the fur and send it to Lana Decane. They'll return a spool of yarn made from your pet's hair that you can use to knit a piece of clothing. At the Gandava Dinosaur theme park, You can experience what it's like to be eaten by a dinosaur. Tigri has an innovative initiative where they put a puppy in front of an orchestra, and the musicians play in rhythm with its tail. The music becomes more intense when they show them treats and rewards. If you want to hear all 10 songs, we'll leave a link in the description. The proceeds help dogs in vulnerable situations. Did you know that you can check your hydration level by pinching the skin on your knuckles? If the skin snaps back immediately, you are well hydrated. If it does this, you need to drink water. Have you ever seen up close what a mother's stomach looks like when her baby kicks? For this reason, you should never give water to a bird in a beak. So please don't just pour water on them. Just place them in a box and they'll be fine.
So that airway that's opening and closing right now, if one tiny bit of water gets in that, you pretty much drowned them. So please don't waterboard them and just put them in a box and they'll be okay.
Have you seen the special edition Deadpool controller that Xbox released? It has his butt on the back. Dizzling Diesel strapped a 7,000 horsepower engine to a playground wheel. It takes some time to gain speed, but once it gets going, it's almost unstoppable. I think it wasn't a good idea. Did you know that in certain places in the United States, your pet can legally be your wedding witness? They sign with their paw. This is what the culprit looks like. This is the 3D structure generated by a computer of SARS-CoV-2. This adorable little friend you see here is the short-tailed gymnure, relatives of the moles and hedgehogs. They have existed for 15 million years. They can measure between 12 to 30 millimeters. Some crab species eliminate excess salt water they ingest while eating seaweed by spitting small jets of water. This is what happens when you burn calcium gluconate. The ashes form a kind of snake. As it decomposes, it forms calcium oxide, carbon, and carbon dioxide, causing the solid matter to expand and form these curious tubes. I bet you didn't know about black sapphire grapes. This seedless grape variety has an unusual characteristic. They are long and resemble eggplants. This strange fish was accidentally captured by Oskar Lundahl on the island of Andøya in Norway. This is not its usual appearance. These fish live at more than 500 meters deep, and when they rise to the surface, the pressure change distorts their bodies. This is the horned devil caterpillar, named for the peculiar horn-like extensions it has behind its head. They typically grow up to 15.24 centimeters, and their metamorphosis turns them into one of the largest moths in America. It looks like this turtle is trying to wake up its friend, doesn't it? In reality, it is part of a mating ritual. This is how the French wrestler Andre the Giant had to travel. His height of 2.24 meters and weight of 236 kilograms were too much for a normal seat. This is the Clock 2 created by the design agency Bigart and Funk, a clock where the numbers have been replaced by a sort of word soup that lights up to form words indicating the time. Mercury is the only metal that is liquid at room temperature. Here you can see it frozen, in solid form, and here it is once again returning to its liquid state. Although crocodiles are almost always silent, they emit grunts and calls for help. In fact, they are the reptiles that vocalize the most in the world, as it is believed they have over 20 sounds to communicate with others of their species. This spectacular photograph of a male gharial helping its more than 100 offspring cross the river was taken by Indian wildlife photographer Dhridaman Mukherjee. On Mercury, the phenomenon of double sunrises occurs. When the sun rises to about 2/3 of its size, It stops and hides again almost exactly where it came up. Then it rises once more to continue its journey across the sky. This only happens at certain points on its surface. Did you know that there is a pizzeria operated by a robot? This is Patsy, a machine capable of taking orders, kneading and rolling out dough, placing the ingredients, putting the pizza in the oven, and serving it cut up in a takeout box. Soon we will all be out of work. This is the Balloon World Cup, a curious championship devised by Ibai Llanos and soccer player Gerard Piqué. It is played within a space of 8 meters by 8 meters with one player per team. Each must prevent the balloon launched by their opponent from falling while dodging a series of obstacles. Did you know that many people abandoned supercars in Dubai? Most of these belonged to people who couldn't pay their debts and had to flee the country. In this video, we can see the life cycle of a dandelion from when it blooms until the head closes and seeds sprout from it. This is how a person's face deforms at 300 kilometers per hour. The video was recorded in a controlled environment. Never forget to wear a helmet. Many people use their phones while waiting at traffic lights. To streamline pedestrian traffic, the South Korean government installed traffic lights on the ground so people with their eyes fixed on their phones can see them more easily. Did you know that there is salt made from human tears? There are tears of anger, sadness, and joy. According to the company that makes them, depending on the emotion, the salt takes on different flavors and appearances. Would you try them? This is the King Koi Coffee Garden, a restaurant where you eat surrounded by koi fish. The owners of the place claim there are approximately 3,000 fish swimming around the tables. Did you know that there is a planet more habitable than Earth? It is Kepler 442b, a rocky exoplanet 1,206 light-years away, with a habitability of 0.836, while Earth has a 0.829. Look at how they make ice cream cones. They are literally rolled pancakes. Watch how lovebirds gather leaves and stems to build their nest. They hold them between their feathers to keep them from falling. This was Estella, a shark diagnosed with scoliosis and kyphosis, conditions that made her spine stick out and swim abnormally. Sadly, she died in 2021. Fruit bat mothers are known to be extremely protective. They wrap their young in their wings to keep them warm. When mothers are not present, orphaned babies wrap themselves in blankets like burritos. Sinosauropteryx prima was a small, carnivorous dinosaur that lived about 125 million years ago. It was covered in delicate feathers resembling the fur of some recent animals. It looks a bit like a swan, only with arms. On this page, you can navigate through a 3D photograph of the night sky of Mars. To animate the poly creatures from the Avatar universe, horses with motion sensors were used. This is how they did it. Did you know there is a sleep bus in Hong Kong? The journey lasts about 5 hours and is designed for those who did not sleep well the night before. Talking or making noise is prohibited. With the cost of the ticket, an eye mask and earplugs are included. This animation shows the time it takes for a ball to fall on different planets in our solar system. It only takes 2.7 seconds on the Sun, 9 seconds on Jupiter, and 57 seconds on Pluto. The peregrine falcon is the fastest bird in the world. It reaches speeds of over 320 kilometers per hour. Theoretically, this would burst its lungs. However, it has small bony tubercles in its nostrils that redirect shock waves from the air, allowing the bird to breathe and reducing the atmospheric pressure change. In fact, some military fighter jets copied this design. This is a free pigment epithelial cyst of the iris. A cyst is a tumor formed by a closed sac with its own membrane that normally develops in a cavity or structure of the body. This is the ProPilot Smart Chair from Nissan, designed for people to remain seated while moving forward in long lines of waiting. It maintains a fixed distance and moves along a designated path. Snakeflies are easily recognizable by having an articulated neck and being able to lift their heads above their bodies like a snake about to attack. Although adult females seem to have a long stinger, snakeflies do not sting and are harmless to humans. To better study the impact of pollutants on fish organs, a group of Taiwanese scientists modified the genome of some carp with DNA from jellyfish. The result? Fish that glow in the dark? In fact, you can buy them on this page. The Curetes acuta caterpillar has a very peculiar defense mechanism. When it feels threatened, it extends its sensory organs, which look like a bouquet of tentacles, and spins them to scare away predators. Did you know that KFC has a console? In partnership with Cooler Master, the fast food brand launched a 4K gaming console ready for virtual reality with a built-in chicken warmer. It uses the heat produced by its components to warm a chamber where players can place their fried chicken. Which animal do you think this skeleton belongs to? A water dinosaur? Well, no. These are the remains of an orca whale. The largest Rubik's Cube in the world as of this video measures 2.5 meters by 2.5 meters. It was built by Ninamal in China on March 28, 2021. The urge to urinate arises when there are between 300 and 500 milliliters of liquid in the bladder. However, its capacity can increase to 2 or 3 liters. Now that you heard that, you will find this image more impressive. This man had 10.5 liters of urine drained, 18 times more than a healthy bladder should contain. This is not at all normal. The man suffered from diabetes and a series of kidney and urinary infections. This is how sitting volleyball is played. It is a variant of volleyball for disabled athletes. In this version, the net is placed at a lower height. These small sculptures were created by artist Ciro Guai using the golden wrapping of Ferrero Rocher chocolates. We present to you the Eurasian wryneck. This bird has a curious defense mechanism. When it feels threatened, it shrinks its neck and moves its head from side to side with its ruffled feathers, mimicking the movement of a snake. These tunnels were dug by a giant ground sloth that lived 10,000 years ago in Brazil. Here, you can see the marks of its claws. This man cut his hair and beard 15 times in one day and took pictures with a different style each time. Which of the 195 styles do you think suits him best? These are the most expensive breeds of dogs and cats that exist. On average, the Norwich Terrier and the Neapolitan Mastiff sell for $3,500. Cats aren't far behind. The most expensive is the Savannah cat, which ranges from $1,500 to $50,000. And to think there are thousands of beautiful dogs in shelters and on the streets. This man improves Hollywood movies by inserting his cat into them. Her name is Lizzie, a black kitten better known on the internet as Owl Kitty. In her latest video, we can see her in the Jurassic Park universe. When Queen Elizabeth II visited the set of Game of Thrones, the production offered her a chance to sit on the Iron Throne, to which she firmly refused. This is because the Queen is forbidden from sitting on a foreign throne. Did you know that beavers are very clean animals? These rodents use their paws and claws to groom and preen their fur regularly. Watch how luggage is arranged in the cargo compartments of an airplane. We present to you the crooked church of Rapoto in Greece. It ended up in this state after the ground it was built on sank in 2012. See how this person struggles to stay in one place. Be very careful of stepping in puddles in forests. In this video, you can see how deep and dangerous they can get. He is Sean Shannon, the fastest talking man. He pronounces 655 words per minute. He could very well be Eminem's father. This animation shows us in real time how long it takes for light to travel from the Sun to Mercury, just over 3 minutes. To Earth, it takes 8 minutes, and to Pluto, over 5 hours. Did you know that some fire trucks have independent steering on the rear wheels? This helps the truck move more nimbly and makes it easier to maneuver in tight corners and small areas. Watch how dust is released from a racket at hundreds of frames per second. The video was made by Legendary Shots. Look them up for more slow-motion videos. This is how the cigarette snail hunts its prey. It seems like it's hypnotizing them. This creature injects a toxin that paralyzes any fish nearby. These are incapacitated immediately. Watch how this pair of divers dance ballet, play soccer, and even surf underwater. These amazing videos belong to Andrew Raceball, a freediver who, along with a friend, recorded these incredible scenes underwater beneath the frozen ice of a lake in Ontario, Canada. This is the oldest football found to date. It dates back to 1540. It is half the size of a conventional ball. It was made with a pig's bladder. Did you know that a rabbit's tail is not just that little pom-pom? That is just the fluffy tip. There is more tail underneath their layers of fur. Here you can see a picture of its skeleton in case you don't believe it. In this video from the channel One Men Micro, we can see through a microscope how leaves release oxygen in real time. These are the creative dishes that Lale Moghmedi prepares for her son. It all began when one day she made pancakes in the shape of a lion to make them more appealing. He liked them so much that she continued to create more elaborate dishes. Did you know that when the Rubik's Cube was invented, a mathematician said it was impossible to solve it in less than a month without a master's degree in mathematics? I think he was a bit mistaken. German artist Hans Hemmert invented these platform shoes so that all the attendees at his parties would be the same height, exactly 2 meters. These are the drawings that Pete Rabbit creates using an app for cyclists. As you can see, he uses GPS to sketch animals, characters, and even CD covers along his route. We present to you the oldest person recorded on video. This is Pope Leo III, who was 86 years old when this video was recorded in 1896. Look at what happens when you mix hydrogen peroxide and tert-butanol. It looks like a magic potion. This reaction is called chemiluminescence. This is how they train the reactions of some goalkeepers. This net you see on the floor helps goalkeepers prepare for a shot with an unexpected change in direction. This is what a mackerel shark fetus looks like. While it looks quite curious, it is highly unlikely to survive outside its mother's womb. This is Coprinus atramentarius, a fungus known as ink cap. When it matures, it dissolves its own tissues, turning them into a kind of black liquid. In fact, this liquid was used in medieval times as ink for writing. Did you know that there are irrigation dogs? They are responsible for channeling water through ditches that they dig themselves. Here you can see Sissy doing her job like a true professional. He is Brady Franklin Stiles Jr., an American man known as Lobster Boy. He was born with a disability called ectrodactyly, a rare malformation that makes his hands look like claws. To entertain people waiting for their food, this French restaurant projects an animation of a miniature chef preparing their meals onto the tables and plates. It looks very cute and fun. Did you know that before toothpaste existed, there was soap for teeth? It was made with chalk, neutral soap, and mint oil. It was soon pulled from the market because it ruined the soft tissues of the gums. This is duck, the largest potato in the world. It was accidentally cultivated in New Zealand. It weighs 7.9 kilograms. The Amazon moth has one of the most unusual and beautiful cocoons in the world. This encapsulates the chrysalis in a kind of open mesh that hangs on a long silk thread at the bottom of a leaf. This is what happens to aluminum when it is struck by a 14-gram piece of plastic traveling at 24,000 kilometers per hour in space. Look at this robot machine that irons a shirt in seconds. This is the most powerful telescope ever built. It was created with the aim of expanding knowledge about the origins of our universe. It has a foldable design like a kind of origami. Not many people know about yellow whales. Cuvier's beaked whales can measure up to 6 meters in length. They are the whales that dive the deepest, up to 3 kilometers down. Their coloration is caused by an infestation of microscopic algae. Did you know that you can see fireworks in 3D using just your phone and a clear glass? We introduce Flinkbot, a catapult robot whose only function is to spray paint onto a canvas, thus creating abstract and colorful paintings. Did you know that the older a hen gets, the lighter her eggs are? As hens age, their eggs become larger, but the amount of pigment deposited on the shell remains the same, giving the impression of losing coloration. This is Jetson 1, a personal electric drone capable of carrying one occupant. It can fly at 100 kilometers per hour, but due to its battery, it allows only 20 minutes of airtime. This is how they capture cats' movements to animate them in movies and video games. They go through many obstacles that help achieve a complete range of movements.